Going on, man?
How are you been doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. What's happening with you?
I'm outside enjoying this beautiful Atlanta day we're having.
Man, you're making me upset, man. You're making me upset.
I think the back porch is the best office I've ever had.
Well, yeah, we didn't. Yeah, our table was gone, so we just got two chairs, and we Kim was out. Kim was on there yesterday doing our happy hour Zoom, and too much shadow, so and a little chilly, so she came inside yesterday.
It was cool yesterday. It's cooler today.
Is that what you're used to? You're a Marine, so.
I got my jacket on too, so.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. What's going on with you, sir?
Hey, I've just been talking to a ton of people here lately.
Okay.
And one of the things that I'm really enjoying is having these conversations and then turning that conversation into content.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's the best. That's the only thing you can do.
Well, it helps both parties, and it helps the platform because they get an idea of the collaboration that goes on. You know,
Exactly.
I mean, we really didn't know each other, and I forget how I found out about
I
your
can tell you,
group.
Greg.
Greg. That's right.
LinkedIn, it's been a good relationship.
You just broke
It's
up
been
real bad there.
I said it's been real positive.
Oh yeah, it has.
Positive. Really.
And I certainly have enjoyed your friendship and your support throughout my LinkedIn journey, and being able to get in front of a bunch of people and talk. I love doing that.
Most definitely. Don't we all? It's not quite the same on Zoom.
No. The extrovert in us just is not finding full satisfaction.
Exactly. Exactly. Look,
hey, so some of the things that I wanted to talk about today was when we did the business workshop, and I gave the whole thing on social selling to your group. Right there at the end, we were doing a lot of questions, and they had a lot of questions about, just simple things like posting and stuff that is not specific to social selling. Anybody that has a brand or a message that they want to convey, they're going to ask those same questions.
Right.
So I didn't know whether you wanted to talk about something like that today, or whether you had more specific ideas.
No, let's go and continue that, because I think one of the things that many entrepreneurs, especially from the group, they want to know when to post, what to post, and how to get, I think, the likes, comments, and kind of really build that that collaboration with other people and other entrepreneurs. And I think that you're taking people, all people from posting on Instagram and Facebook, to now posting it to such a more business-minded and business-oriented platform that they're trying to question some things, because you know what happens when people post, when entrepreneurs post, it's all about, this is what I can do, this is what I can offer, rather than being helpful. So I think that whole concept might be new to many people.
Well, and I also think that most people come to LinkedIn transitioning from Facebook. That's probably been their primary social media platform of choice. And really, there's no comparison, because on Facebook, you kind of start out with a network. You have a natural network because you have your family, you have your friends, you have all the people that you went to high school with, college with, grad school with, whatever, I mean, whatever life event, you're going to end up having collections of people. So Facebook is just a reflection of that. So in that term, you're kind of just matching up names and faces with people that you already know. Where
Exactly. And you
LinkedIn,
can share anything.
and you can share anything you want because, you know, they're your family and your friends. If you want to tick them off, you can. There's no business consequence to that. But you know, on LinkedIn, you come in and it's like going to your first networking event. You don't know anybody.
Exactly.
And most people are, you know, their first challenge is, well, how do I meet people and connect with people?
Right.
And without having some idea of strategy, and you know, I'm big into the strategy thing, all about, you know, from really that first point of making your connections. I think that's got to be strategic, and people don't think about that at first. All they see is a couple inbound requests, and generally they're the worst.
Exactly. Well, you know, it's almost like I think people become number oriented. They think that the more numbers that they have, the more friends, the more connections they have, the better it is. And you know, I think a lot of times, you know, we kind of get caught up into that because you don't want to have 5 connections. You want to have, you know, meaningful connections, and sometimes, you know, meaningful can be quite a bit. You know, a lot of times, you know, I know when I had my 5,000 Facebook friends, I was like, oh my gosh, 5,000. Then I quickly got rid of it, dropped it down maybe to about at one time 400. Then it got back to 5,000. Then I had to drop it back down. So I think now I'm like at 2,300. And many of the folks I really don't know. And I hate to say really don't know, really have never interacted with. But I use Facebook for a different platform. I don't really use it for business. But and I think people try to take that with LinkedIn. They just go ahead and start connecting with anybody and everybody. And they fail to realize, you know, we've talked about it before about building a relationship. That LinkedIn, you have to build a relationship. Something has to be concrete. But too many people just want numbers. And they just say, fine, let's connect. And when, you know, I've discovered, and I think I've even shared with you, when I've followed up with people and said, hey, look, it's great meeting you. You know, hey, let's connect. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What can I help you with? Therefore, some of their response like, well, there's nothing you can do for me right now, or I just wanted to connect. Well, okay, so in other words, you just wasted my time by me typing in a few words. You know, there's no strategy.
Yeah, and I think that's important, and that starts off in defining who you want to connect with. Who's your strategic target market that makes the most sense for your goals on LinkedIn? Because not everybody has the same goals, you know. I was talking with a guy yesterday, and he said, you know, most people, probably 80-90% of the people in the world, still think that LinkedIn is just for finding a job. They don't even think about it, that, you know, I'm here to make business connections and, you know, sell products or services, or, you know, relate better with my vendors and customers. They don't get that part of it. All they think is, oh, well, I don't need a job, so I'm not going to LinkedIn.
Well, unfortunately, too many you see a lot of articles that talks about career, that talk about landing the right job. You know, I get a lot of things in my email stating that, hey, look, so and so is recruiting. They're looking for this type of employee. They're looking for this type of individual. So sadly, if people get inundated with that all the time, then they go forget to look at LinkedIn for other features.
Right.
That's why I think what you're doing is great, is teaching people about social selling, about how to create opportunities and business connections.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, on the connection strategy, I think that, you know, I have a outbound connection strategy where I reach out to salespeople, business owners, digital marketers. Those people kind of fall into my target audience. All the inbound requests, to be quite honest with you, I'll connect with anybody on inbound. I'm not going to turn anybody down. But I think there's going to be a day when I have to come back and look and see, you know, how do we determine who's really engaged?
Right.
And, it's funny that, when we talk about, you were talking about the numbers, the metrics, and people do get caught up in that.
Oh my
But,
gosh.
it's just like customers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have 100 customers who were really my guys
Exactly.
than 1,000 who are just a pain in the jeans, if you know what I mean.
Almost definitely. Because those 1,000 customers, that's a one-time sale, one-time
Hmm.
interaction, and a good percentage of them will complain. But the 100 that you say are your guys, they're repeat customers, and then two, they will refer business, and
Right.
they will open up other opportunities for you outside of your business.
And that's what's cool about LinkedIn is that even people who aren't your customers want to
Hmm.
help support you and promote your business and promote the things that excite you, because they see, hey, this guy's adding value to the platform.
Exactly.
So,
That's the key, adding value.
and I think that's a pretty cool way to look at it. So, we talked a little bit about time of day. Okay,
Right.
you asked about time of day, and certainly, I think most people are into this once a business day
Hmm.
in the morning, some like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and
Or even earlier.
or even earlier. It depends on your audience. It really does. Your
Mhm.
time zone, everything. Um, the one thing I was talking with, do you know Monty Clark, Monte Clark? If you're
I've
not
heard the
following
name.
him,
I may need.
you need to
Okay.
reach out and follow him. He's one of my buddies from
Okay.
a ways back, and he is
Okay.
really fine-tuned this stuff. And
Okay.
at first, I kind of heard, hey, you got to have really good engagement within the first hour or two. Well, he's
Hmm.
nailed that down to, you better get good engagement in the first 30 minutes.
Wow.
So, that could be the difference between me sitting on 85 and me being in the office 30 minutes.
Exactly.
So, 30 minutes is a pretty narrow window where,
Wow.
each 30 minutes or an hour, you've got to keep growing that engagement, because LinkedIn keeps expanding that view. So in the first
Hmm.
30 minutes, you might be seen to that much of the network. You get good
Hmm.
engagement, you keep growing, and so forth. Um, so the question is how do you get engagement? And I think you commented when I was over at the workshop, you said, man, what's going on with your posts? It looks like there's a party
Exactly.
going on in there, you
I
know?
know. It's like, my goodness. It's amazing. I mean, I'm totally impressed.
Thank you. But that's the power of the network that I
Hmm.
and part of that is, comment pods. Okay.
Hmm.
Specifically, I mean, I only have a single comment pod. There's about 15 or 20 people in it. And, we
Hmm.
jump in there and help each other out and, comment on our posts, and I would comment on their posts even if they weren't in the pod, because,
Okay.
we've got that relationship built, and I'm interested in their
Right.
stuff. I'm interested in their success. And
Right.
they're interested in mine. So,
Exactly.
uh, and then another thing that I always do on posts is I always shout out to my recent connections. I'll
I
tag
see that.
all of the recent connections in the last 24 hours and just say, hey, I appreciate you joining the network. And it's
Hmm.
another way to re-engage, because here's my thinking is that the reason why people connect with you is because
Hmm.
some kind of interaction, whether that have been an engagement or a post, sometime in the preceding 24 hours.
Okay.
So once they connect, you want to acknowledge that and bring them back, because you want to
Okay.
get them to see another post. You see, and then
Right.
you engage with that, and then they say, oh, well, this guy's my buddy now, and now we've
Hmm.
got some true engagement going. And
Exactly.
the whole thing with the substantive comments, I know this is something that I beat the band on, but I think it's so important to really have a conversation when we're commenting. Rather than just nice post or, thanks for sharing, those things don't add any value. And Here's what's worse
Exactly.
is
Exactly.
that your network is shown everything that you comment on.
Mm-hmm.
So when they see you comment on something, and it lacks value, what does that tell them about you? That
Most definitely.
I'm
Well, that's important, I've made the mistake sometimes, and I've clicked on something really simple, like, thanks for sharing. Um, I'm not gonna say it was lazy. I probably have taken great notes about, a particular topic, but it's like, you know what? Do I really feel like doing everything at that moment? And a lot of times, if I'm on my phone, that's lazy. Computer, yeah, I can do more typing on the computer. So I definitely agree. I
and
definitely agree, and I think that's something that we have to be taught to do.
and to discipline ourselves. And you made a great
Exactly.
point in the mobile versus desktop world,
Mm-hmm.
because on the phone I just can't bang it out like I can on the computer.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
that's what that little microphone next to the space bar is for too. Now you might have to
Exactly.
go correct a little bit, but that voice texting thing is really cool. And on
Exactly.
my Mac, I've got it set up on a speed key where I can start dictation, and
Okay.
that makes it easy too.
Okay.
Um, Now I also have another little trick up my sleeve when it comes to engagement, and that's a product called Text Expander.
Okay.
If you haven't been, take a look at textexpander.com.
Okay. Okay.
And
I'm about to check that out.
what that does is that gives you a little keystroke, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll spit out a sentence, a paragraph, emojis, whatever you want. You just have to, have to go through the time of setting that up.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, it's a great little tool and saves tons of typing.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
anytime you want to say like, "Hey, thanks for the tag," I just press star tag, boom, and
Okay.
it's done. Pops out.
Because one of the things what you're talking about with all of this is time management.
Oh, absolutely.
Many probably who may hear our discussion, they're talking about, you got to follow up, you have to comment, you have to not just share, but just make that comment and really connect. And they go say, well, Randy, how can I do all of this when I have to run my business? How can I do all of this when I'm trying to make phone calls? So I think one of the things that people have to incorporate, all of us have to incorporate, is some type of time management, asking ourselves, when is best for me to go ahead and comment? How long do I need to comment? How long do I need to read a post? And just how long do I need to stay on LinkedIn compared to all these other social media outlets. So I think
Hmm.
that is something that we really have to be very mindful of in our day-to-day interactions, time management. Are we going to do it Monday through Friday, or we could do something on Saturday and Sunday? But definitely time management is crucial.
Yeah, I think that it's really easy to get
Hmm.
carried away in both directions. Either you don't
Yes.
put enough time into it, or you put
Hmm.
too much time into it that is not productive. And then after you see that you've wasted all this time, you go like, "Oh, well, LinkedIn isn't working for me because it's just a time suck like every other thing."
Right.
Um, so, this is kind of like, uh, and I hate to keep back referring to Monty, but I've been talking to him a lot over the last
Or
couple of
not.
days,
Or
and
not.
he's had some really great content this week.
Okay.
But one of the things that he said is that, people come to me and say, "Yeah, well, LinkedIn didn't work for me." Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's like a guitar.
Hmm.
Okay. That guitar didn't work for me. Yeah. Or
Exactly.
the
So what you gonna do
baseball
with it?
glove. The baseball glove doesn't work.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
don't think
So
it's got nothing to do with the glove, son.
you're going out there trying to be like a Derek Jeter. Like, I got the glove now. I'm gonna be like Derek Jeter.
Right. Ain't
you
gonna
know.
happen.
But it's interesting you say that, Randy, because a lot of people don't realize it takes time. I think
Yes.
that you know where patience is a virtue, but it also takes time. When someone looks at, someone like yourself, we talk about Greg, of connections, and you have so many people commenting on your posts and doing this and doing that. People don't realize this just didn't happen overnight.
No.
It's taken some time, it's taken some trials and errors, and you can do what your friend Monty said. You can do that, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. It doesn't work on Monday. It may work a little bit on Tuesday, but it's the level of consistency and understanding that you have to be consistent. You have to understand, what works, what doesn't work, but it's going to take time. You just can't give up after a few days, after a few weeks. It's a process. It is
Let
a
me tell you
long,
that the
lengthy
hardest
process.
part about it, okay, and I love this analogy because I love my brother. and doing LinkedIn is like playing cards with my brother. The rules keep changing.
Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Hey, I was the youngest of three boys, so I got a lot of rule changing going on. You know what I
mean? So as soon as you've mastered one thing, all of a sudden it shifts on you.
It does. Because 6 months ago, I could put a video out about anything, okay? Not get half the engagement that I'm getting now, and I'd get 4,000 views, some approaching 10, okay? Now, I put a video out, I might get 400 views. But here's the thing, and this goes back to the original thing that we were talking about, that I would rather have 400 views of my target audience than 4,000 views of generic nobodies.
Exactly.
So, back to the time thing, that certainly makes a big difference. I don't post more than once a day. Other people I know post several times a day. The general rule that I've heard, if you want to post more than once a day, is give it at least 4 hours in between, because that gives that first post enough time to go up the chain and see if anybody salutes before you send out your other one.
But then you have to also be proactive in that too. Once if you do the 4 hours, then you still going to have to make the comments. You still want some type of interaction.
You got to come back and do all the engagement over again.
Exactly.
Exactly. So it depends on how much time you want to spend into it. And, with my business, where I kind of do two things: LinkedIn profile management and then the sales navigator coaching. I always tell people, hey, if you don't want to do any training for this and you just want to have a strong profile, just cut me a check. Okay. Because that's the way that you're going to get the best profile for the least amount of effort.
Right.
Is let somebody else do it. And for many people, that's a big draw. Particularly, I've had a lot of success lately with mergers and acquisition firms calling, and they see the leadership team and they go, hey, these guys look great on paper. They look like dog crap on LinkedIn. We really need to do something with these guys. Hey, how can you beef them up in 6 months? Oh yeah, we can beef them up in 6 months.
Right.
So that's always an option for people. The interesting thing, though, is you really don't even have to post. You don't have to be a prolific poster in order to have a strong LinkedIn profile and to be seen as a thought leader on LinkedIn. You could post once a month and be a rock star on LinkedIn in your circle.
Exactly.
Okay. And really, I think that's what people want is, they want, they want themselves to be well represented, just like when we go out and bounce around the world, we're dressed like we got a couple of bucks,
Exactly. Exactly. Nowadays, we're sitting back casual.
Yeah. Now we're just chill.
Exactly. and it's amazing because, a lot of people don't realize how important their profile is.
Oh yeah.
I know we've talked about it before. If you have a bad profile, who's going to do business with you? I know a lot of times when I get LinkedIn requests, I glance over. I'm like, okay, this is a bad profile. I'm like, you really not telling me anything. You just put your name, maybe a photo. This is it, but nothing at all. And these were the people who were told just get on LinkedIn.
Right.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
Well, I think that you know, when I look at their profile and it reads like a resume, that's when I know this guy doesn't have a clue as far as what's going on here. And I have another friend who says, no cover pic, not connecting with them.
Exactly. Most definitely. Most definitely.
So
well,
I don't know. I mean, I don't place
as
that
long as
much of
people
an
thought
emphasis on it, but certainly pictures
some people do.
important. Yeah. I mean, it shows the amount of effort that somebody's willing to go to put into their profile to make it look right.
Exactly. Well, a lot of people, what you said about a resume, a lot of people think that LinkedIn is a resume. Once again, let's look at job hunting. When you're, I can't speak on that part, but when somebody's actions and opportunities, you don't want a resume. You want to find out how. You want to know, can you address a problem? Can you fix the problem? Are you skilled? Are you knowledgeable? What are you bringing to the table?
Righto.
So I think you hit it right on point.
Cool.
Right,
well, I've enjoyed talking with you today.
Likewise, sir. I appreciate. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Hey, thank you. And once I get this saved, I'll send you the MP4. You can cut it up, use it at will.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Well, let's talk soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks a lot.